We all know that the HQ sales tour is critical to winning new clients. Almost no one takes an office or buys business access services without first visiting the center. And this visit gives us the opportunity to meet with our prospective clients, to learn about their needs, and demonstrate the value that we deliver. No tour would be complete without all of these components. We've prepared this presentation to give you an overview of the ideal HQ sales tour. We realize that the ideal will never happen, and that no tour will be exactly like the one on your screen. But let's watch and see what we can learn.
Morning, Ann. Good morning. Mr. Johnson and Mr. Olson, the estate attorneys, will be here at 9:30.
Okay, I'm ready, and I've called the rest of the team, so we're all set for the tour.
Excellent. I'll make another sweep of the conference room and model offices.
Okay. Good morning. May I help you?
Yes, my name is Scott Johnson, and this is Mark Olson, my partner. We have an appointment with Miss Parker.
Oh, wonderful. I'm Ann North. Welcome. We've been expecting you. Did you have any trouble following my directions?
No, not at all. Your directions were right on the money.
Great. May I have a business card?
Certainly.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll let Miss Parker know you're here. Would you care for something to drink?
I'd have a cup of coffee, thank you.
How do you take it?
Just black.
Water's fine for me, thanks.
All right. Please make yourself comfortable.
Great. Thank you. This is very nice.
Thank you. Miss Parker, Mr. Johnson and Mr. Olson have arrived. Thank you. Gentlemen, she'll be right with you. Mr. Johnson, Mr. Olson, this is our general manager, Miss Parker.
Good morning. Welcome.
Hi, how you doing? Pleasure to meet you. Please call me Mark.
Thank you.
My name is Scott Johnson. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Me too. I'd like to introduce Ron White, our assistant general manager.
Hey, it's nice to meet you, Ron.
Nice to meet you as well.
Ron, good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome to the Colonnade Center. I've been looking forward to showing both of you around.
Hope you enjoy your tour today. My goal here is to ensure you are completely satisfied with your HQ experience. If there's anything at all you need, please let me know.
It's great.
Sounds good.
Thanks.
Thank you. So where do we get started?
Well, if it's okay with you, I'd like to start first about learning about what you do. We'll start in the main conference room, then we'll take a tour of the center and meet the rest of the staff.
Okay, sounds good.
Sounds great.
All right, let's go this way.
We'll bring in your coffee and water. Susan, Mr. Johnson and Mr. Olson are here. Could you please have someone bring a cup of black coffee and a glass of water to the conference room? Thank you. They should be starting the tour in about 20 minutes.
Did you run into any traffic this morning?
Well, there's always traffic, but most of it was going the other direction.
This is really an ideal location, very centrally located.
Yes, it is. Before I show you our center, I'd like to get an idea of how familiar you are with our industry. How did you find out about us?
Well, we're forming a partnership and looking for an office. A friend of ours, also an attorney, has an office at an HQ location and suggested that we check it out.
I did go to your website.
What did you think?
I'd like to learn a little more about how it all works. I'd like to explore all options before making a decision.
Great. Let me tell you a little about us, then I want to hear about your business needs.
Sounds good. Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you.
For over 40 years, HQ has been working with professionals like you to provide shared office space and support services.
40 years? I had no idea you'd been in business that long.
And during that time, we found ways to allow our customers to get premium office space faster and more effectively than they could get on their own.
How is it more cost effective than having your own space? Rates are really low right now.
Well, that's a good question, and I'm glad you asked that. When you go out to lease office space, that usually includes a kitchen, reception area, and private offices, right?
Yes.
Well, when you're on your own, you pay the full cost of that build-out. At HQ, you pay only for your office. Your space is already furnished, and the entire infrastructure is in place, so you don't have to worry about it.
Well, that does seem to make sense, but I'll have to see the figures before I'm convinced.
So tell me, what type of law do you practice?
We specialize in estate planning.
How long have you been working together?
Well, we started working together at a local firm about 10 years ago, and about a year ago we decided to partner in our own company.
How's business?
Oh, it's very good, and it's definitely getting better. Over the past year, we've been marketing to higher-end clients, and it's really paying off.
So you're winning a lot of new business.
Yes, we are.
Well, how's that affecting the way you operate?
Well, like a lot of self-employed people, we've been working out of our homes. It's convenient, but it doesn't send the right signals.
In other words, you need an upscale, professional environment to meet with your clients.
That's right.
You mentioned location earlier. How important is location to your decision?
Oh, it's very important.
As long as that prestigious address is not too expensive.
Tell me, what type of space are you looking for? Are you looking for full-time office space?
Yes, we are.
How many people will you have?
Well, we'll start out with 3 offices, one for each of us, and then one for our paralegal. At some point, we'll need space for administrative staff as well.
When do you need to occupy the space?
Well, how about Monday? Will that work? No, realistically, within the next 2 weeks?
Well, we want to check out all our options.
Well, of course. I'd like to know more about the way you work. What's a typical day like?
Well, no 2 days are exactly alike. I usually spend a lot of time meeting with our clients and on the phone talking to prospective clients as well.
I need a quiet atmosphere where I can do my research. Most of my research is on LexisNexis, so it's very important to me to have a high-speed internet connection.
Is there anything else that might be unique to the business you do every day?
We file a lot of papers at the courthouse.
And we are expanding our client base to include several major markets. I plan to travel quite a bit in the next.
Well, considering all that, what would a perfect office solution be in a perfect world?
Free office space for a year? Yeah. Well, seriously, in a perfect world, I would meet with new clients anywhere in the country and would make them believe that we are an established firm with multiple offices.
For me, a perfect office solution would include uninterrupted access to do my research without having to sort out technical problems.
Well, as long as we're dealing with a perfect world, let's include having a magic genie who hires and trains our administrative staff, too.
Well, that's one of the reasons I'm so glad you came in today, because you'll get an opportunity to meet our staff.
That will be great.
I want to be sure I'm on the same page with you. So I'd like to take a moment to recap what we've heard so far. You've said it's important for you to have a nice location with space to meet clients, great technical support, and an efficient administrative staff. Have I missed anything?
Well, it sounds good so far, but I have another concern that we haven't talked about.
Well, what's that?
Well, we have been looking at lease space.
How's that going?
Actually, very well. Rates are very reasonable right now.
How long of a commitment would you have to make to lock into those great rates?
5 years.
I'm concerned about what will happen when we outgrow the space in a couple of years.
I think we'll be fine. We can cross that bridge when we come to it.
Scott, it seems to me like you have a concern about flexibility.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it.
Well, flexibility is one of the reasons many startup companies office with HQ.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
So help me better understand which of these is important to you right now. I hear you saying that the most important factor is location, next is flexibility, and third is adequate support. How does that sound to you?
I would put support as a second factor and flexibility last. And don't forget cost.
Absolutely. One last question. What do you like best about what you do?
For me, it's helping my clients, sitting down with them and learning about their challenges.
And for me, it's researching the best solution for them.
How would your business life change if you were able to do more of that during your workday?
It would make a huge difference. If we're not interacting with our clients, we're not making money.
That's a great point. Well, I have a couple of ideas of how we can help make all of this happen. And if you don't have any other questions, why don't we go out and look at the space and meet the staff?
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
Before we leave the conference room, Scott, you mentioned that you need a place to meet with your clients. HQ offers access to over 700 conference rooms coast to coast. You'll find them ideal for taking depositions, sensitive negotiations, and mediations. Most centers have video conferencing facilities as well.
Does that mean that I could meet my New York clients in one of your centers there?
It sure does. How many client meetings do you typically have in a week?
I'd say 2 or 3.
So roughly 8 to 12 hours of conference room use in a month?
Yeah, that's about right.
Well, we can customize an office solution that would allow for a certain amount of conference time in any of our centers. And all it takes is one call to set you up in any of our locations.
I like that.
You've already met our receptionist, Anne.
Welcome back.
And Mr. Johnson and Mr. Olson are interested in our full office program. Mr. Johnson may be traveling quite often and meeting with clients in other cities. Mr. Olson spends the majority of his time in the office.
So would you need access to an office when you're traveling, Mr. Johnson?
Yes, actually, I would need a place to work as well as to meet my clients.
Well, I can take care of all your reservation needs, wherever you happen to be. Our system allows me to check on an office availability at all our HQ locations and reserve the equipment, catering, or administrative services you'll need. I can also help you stay organized by scheduling appointments and even preparing your travel arrangements. Does that sound helpful?
Oh, yes, it does. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Johnson, Mr. Olson, meet Lisa, our telecommunications guru.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you.
These gentlemen are attorneys who specialize in estate planning services, and they're interested in the full office program. Mr. Johnson will be traveling quite a bit, and Mr. Olson will be spending most of his time in the office. Both are on the phone a lot with clients.
Great. Can you tell me how you'd like to have your calls answered?
Well, I had a secretary who answered the calls at my old office and transferred them back to me. She'd also let me know who was on the line so I can pull their file.
And I'm used to pretty much the same setup, but I'm in and out a lot more, so I need to be able to take calls wherever I am.
Well, it sounds like I can help provide a solution for both of you. We provide you with a dedicated line which we answer as you specify. I can also screen your calls and announce them as we transfer them to you. Mr. Johnson, I can also transfer your calls to your cell phone or any number that you request and save you time and money, especially with long-distance calls.
That's great.
Wow, sounds great.
This is our client service area. You can depend on our expert administrative staff for daily or last-minute clerical needs, such as proposal documents, graphics, PowerPoint, even expense reports. Many of our clients find this really enhances their productivity. Mr. Johnson, Mr. Olson, I'd like you to meet Susan.
Hi, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet
Hello.
you.
They're starting up a new estate planning firm and are interested in the full office program.
Wow, can you tell me a little about the administrative support you currently have?
Well, we don't have anyone right now, but in the past I had a secretary who would type up financial statements, legal proceedings, and regular correspondence.
Okay, well we can provide any administrative support you need. From copying jobs to Excel spreadsheets, our client service team is experienced in Microsoft Office. Many of our clients are attorneys, so we're very familiar with the kinds of services you may need, like notary services and couriers. Do you work from any templates or are all new information?
Well, many of the documents we prepare are basically the same, but are customized for each client.
I'd like to show you the type of office many of our attorney clients use. This one is a good choice for cost-conscious firms. Very attractive, very functional, as you can see. This office is the choice for professionals who want to project a prosperous image.
Well, it certainly does that.
Why don't you have a seat at the desk and try it out for size?
I think I will.
Keep in mind, we can offer different choices and configurations and furnishings. How would you use an office like this?
Well, I think I'd get in touch with my clients and have them start meeting me here right away.
And all we have to do is just move in.
That's right. We handle all the details, the equipment, the phones, network. It's all plug and play, ready to go when you get here. And as fast as your business grows, that's how fast we can move you into larger offices. Eventually your own suite.
And not so fast. I want to see the figures.
Yes, let's talk.
Based on the things you've told me are most important to you, a prestigious, convenient location, flexibility for future growth, and various support services, I think HQ has quite a lot to offer you. I'd like to review the features of the full office program with you.
That's fine, but how does this compare to the other options we're considering?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Let's explore that. As you can see, with a conventional lease, you have a lot of upfront costs compared with HQ. The cost of furnishing your office, equipping it, and eventually staffing it. A sublease carries all the same liabilities with the added challenges of having to deal with leftover equipment, wiring, and so forth. And of course, you deal with a lot of vendors. With HQ, you get just one monthly invoice covering everything. It's all part of our mission to create a vibrant office environment that helps you succeed. So tell me, of the two offices you viewed, which one felt best to you?
Definitely the second one.
Yeah.
That's a great choice. It will certainly project the image of a successful law firm. You also mentioned that you'll be bringing in a paralegal.
That's correct.
So, would these three offices work for you?
I think they would be a really good fit.
Well, if I were able to put together a one-year agreement for the amount I quoted you, does this feel like the place you would want to be?
Yes, it does. You know, you and your staff, they seem to understand what we want to accomplish.
I haven't checked out all the prices for phones and computer systems, but frankly, it would be nice to let someone else worry about it.
Great. Here's how we can move forward. If you want to start on Monday, all we need is a signed agreement for the three offices, along with a check for the first month's fees and retainer. I can prepare the paperwork right now.
Let's do it.
Absolutely.
I'm so glad we'll be partnering with you. I can't wait to see you on Monday when you come to move in. Here's my business card. Please don't hesitate to give me a call if you have any questions at all.
We are really looking forward to being here.
Terrific.
Yeah, thanks so much for your help.
You're very welcome.
We'll see you on Monday when we move in.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
You've just seen an overview of the ideal HQ sales tour. It's based on the input and experience of general managers and other sales professionals all across the company. It is now the standard for sales tours in all HQ locations. So let's go back and review each element of the tour. We'll talk about the value of each step and the techniques to make it effective. You'll see how this approach can enhance your success.
Rarely will any tour be exactly like the one you've just seen. However, every tour must incorporate the same basic elements. They are preparation, introduction, conversation, presentation, decision, and next action. The tour really begins long before your prospective clients arrive, with preparation. The Sales Accelerator CD contains fact sheets on HQ's key vertical markets. By using these tools, you can acquaint yourself with your prospect's business and develop leading questions to use in identifying their hot buttons. Preparation includes the center itself. This checklist will help you make sure that your center is tour ready. This is especially important with the model offices. They should be attractively decorated with some nice lived-in touches. The lights should be on, ready to welcome your prospects. Desks should be clean, with phone cords neatly coiled. The introduction occurs when prospective clients arrive at the center. As the first person they meet, your receptionist plays a key role in setting the tone for the visit. Instant eye contact, a warm smile, and a poised, professional yet friendly demeanor immediately establish the center's supportive character. Note that the receptionist stood up and offered a firm handshake while continuing to make good eye contact. The receptionist should obtain your prospect's business cards, set them at ease by offering refreshments, then call the general manager. Always treat prospective clients as VIPs, because they are. Use formal titles when introducing them. This establishes a high level of mutual respect. For the general manager, the first order of business is a conversation to learn more about the prospect's business and establish trust. Whenever possible, begin the tour by escorting your prospects to the conference room.
Did you run into any traffic this morning?
Start with small talk to build rapport. The goal is to be viewed as a friend who is trying to help resolve a business issue. Review the backgrounders and other Sales Accelerator tools for information that will help you connect.
So tell me, what type of law do you practice?
Before you can offer a solution, you must understand your prospective client's business problem.
How's business?
At this stage, it is far more important to ask questions and to listen carefully than it is to promote your center's features and benefits.
How important is location to your decision? What type of space are you looking for? How many people will you have? When do you need to occupy the space? What's a typical day like?
There are great profiling questions in the Sales Accelerator that can assist you in understanding your prospect's needs. By asking thoughtful, open-ended questions, you can draw out their key business requirements, their likes and dislikes about their present office situation, and the other options they may be considering. The goal is to identify their hot buttons, the 3 issues that will most influence their decision about office space.
So help me better understand which of these is important to you right now. I hear you saying that the most important factor is location, next is flexibility, and third is adequate support. How does that sound to you?
Before starting the tour, summarize the prospect's 3 hot buttons. This has a couple of purposes. 1, it serves as a trial close, an early opportunity to gain agreement. And 2, it helps ensure that these thoughts will be uppermost in the prospect's mind during the tour. Next is the walking tour, your presentation of the center and its services. As you describe your center's capabilities, stress their value and benefits in terms of your prospect's hot buttons. Don't assume that they'll make those connections on their own.
I'd like to introduce Ron White, our Assistant General Manager.
Hey, it's nice to meet you, Ron.
Nice to meet you as well.
Always make the team part of your presentation. It's important to acquaint prospects with as many key team members as possible, depending on their availability. Again, the specifics of each tour will be different, but the basic elements will remain the same. Brief your staff in advance of the tour. It's essential for every available team member to be involved in the sales process.
You've already met our receptionist, Anne.
Welcome back.
And Mr. Johnson and Mr. Olson are interested in our full office program. Mr. Johnson may be traveling quite often and meeting with clients in other cities.
So would you need access to an office when you're traveling, Mr. Johnson?
Your staff should feel free to talk to prospective clients about their support needs and describe how they can meet those needs. This is essential to the tour's success. When prospects experience your team's professionalism and enthusiasm, it makes our promises very real. Tour the entire center, including the common areas. Even though you've established your prospect's business needs, a particular feature or service may unexpectedly capture their interest. Show just 2 model offices, 1 interior and 1 exterior. Remember, we're in the business of selling offices, not just showing them. So always invite prospects to sit down at the desk and try it out for size. It's not uncommon for them to be sold by a test drive. Be sure to emphasize the flexibility HQ offers in furnishings and configurations. Emphasize the fact that you and your staff take care of move-in details. Focus on peace of mind.
So, would these 3 offices work for you?
I think they would be a really good fit.
Well, if I were able to put together a 1-year agreement for the amount I quoted you, does this feel like the place you would want to be?
At the end of the tour, bring prospects back to the conference room to discuss what they've just seen. The goal now is to close the deal, to help them reach a decision.
I'm so glad we'll be partnering with you. I can't wait to see you on Monday when you come to move in. Here's my business card. Please don't hesitate to give me a call if you have any questions at all.
Finally, be sure to set the next action to be taken, such as a follow-up meeting to finalize details. Set a definite date, time, and responsibility for all follow-up activities. For the GM, one of those actions is to update the sales tracking tools with notes on the tour, including follow-up dates or contact information.
We prepared this presentation to give you an overview of the standards for HQ sales tours. Of course, every prospect is different with individual priorities and unique support needs, but the essential elements of each tour remain the same. Following this format will ensure that every facet of the HQ story is presented well and that all of our prospective clients have the best opportunity to make the right decision for their company. Our responsibility is to provide an extraordinary HQ experience to every prospect, every time.